What's up, YouTube? As you guys can see, we're in the car right now, so we're doing a little bit something different today. Um, just want to go out here and talk to you about a topic that been lingering around on YouTube with other barber and I guess you could say barber related content, whatever you want to call them, barber YouTubers or barber Instagrammers, whatever it is, right? Um, a conversation practically talking about um, should barbers be able to get different jobs and do different things besides barbering, and if you do different things, are you really just a barber? Now look, I have a different opinion on this topic because usually people say no, you're supposed to just be full time, do that, and that's it. And some people say yes, it's cool to have a regular 9 to 5 and just cut hair part time, right? If you ask me, I think just do whatever works for you. Okay, um, barbering is the head of what I do. That's my empire. That's what I love the most. That's my pride and joy. I'm be honest with you. Barbering put me in a really good position in life. It helped me through a lot of dark days in my life because again, I don't know how you guys feel, but when I cut hair, it's therapeutic, right? Call me, whatever they could say, woke or call me dramatic or whatever, but I truly mean that. Like, yeah, barbering has definitely helped me in a lot of ways. Is it's just really therapeutic to me. Cutting hair, going to talk to my client, seeing how they're doing, talking the shit with them, like stuff like that, man. It truly, truly does make me feel better. Not only if my client's having a bad day, do I help them feel better, but also they help me feel better by just conversating, you know, making them feel better, making them fresh. The transition is everything too. Like just seeing how they came in and then seeing how they leave out. That's um that's definitely very, very not only therapeutic, but it's also very rewarding, to me. Like especially like when if I'm having a bad day and I execute a haircut that is usually harder for me to execute, and or I do it faster and still execute it to a very, very high level, it just really makes my day feel better, because I got some content to post. I just love seeing a blurry fade. That just makes me happy. I don't know. I'm weird, yeah. I'm be real with you, and it's been like that ever since I started. Like I just love that feeling. It's like a dopamine effect, if you ask me, right? But if you guys don't know, I do other things though. I run two other companies besides my barber. Look, everything I do is a company. Every industry I'm in is a company. I do have a brick and mortar barbershop. We've been in business. In June, it'll be 6 years. Okay. I've owned a barbershop since I was 19 years old. I'm 25 years old right now. Um, and I also run a DJ service company where, we do the DJ, um, as far as DJing the music. I'm sorry, and also we bring the lighting and stuff of that nature. If you guys need that, mainly do private events. I do some bars sometimes, but not really. I'm not really into the bar scene too deep. A lot of drama, and also they don't really pay as much as private gigs do. And I have enough stuff to where I can do a whole big Sweet 16 prom, so I might as well use it and get paid for it, right? And also recently, I took over a firearms training company for my friend that passed away. Rest in peace, Patrick. So I'm in a lot of different pots, right? But I always come back to barbering. Barbering is never like a back burner. Barbering is never the last thing on the list, right? I just do different things throughout the week. But there's times where I'm leaving a gig because it's an early gig and I'm going to cut hair at the shop. Or before I go to my gig, I'm cutting hair at the shop before that. Barbering is always involved in my life. It always will be. Barbering is one of the things that it really saved my life. I was into a lot of bullshit growing up. Excuse my language, you guys. But look, I'm real with you guys, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Like on this specific page, I'm not looking to get crazy, crazy paid. So if YouTube wants to strike me for saying a couple little curse words, then so be it. And if you're watching this in school, again, apologize for the cursing. I curse a little bit. I'm working on it, so it's not that bad. But again, it's realistic, right? But again, uh, barbering is just one of them things that it's always gonna be there for me, and it always has been there for me. And my bad days, it saved my life. So it's one of them things that's never gonna go away, and it's never not gonna be the first thing that I claim to be when I talk to somebody. I'm a barber before anything. Before I'm a barbershop owner, before I'm a DJ, before I'm a firearms instructor, before I'm a businessman, any of that, I'm a barber. Barbering built me to be who I am. It was a part of my life at a really young age. I've been a barber since I was 14 years old, you guys. I've been cutting hair for a while now, right? And I must say, like, I feel like if I didn't find barbering, I don't know where I would be at. I don't know if I would have all these companies. I don't know if I'll be DJing. I don't know if I'll be a firearm instructor because every other thing I do, the DJing, I met someone that put me on through barbering. Same thing with the firearms instructor thing. I found someone who I was their client. I mean, I'm sorry, they were my client. One of my clients had put me on in a situation and gave me information for a class to take, and I went and I passed it with flying colors. And now I'm a firearms instructor. I have a firearms training company. The person, my friend Patrick, he was my client. He was my client before he was my friend. And that's one thing they say, like a client will become a friend before a friend becomes a client. And that's facts, you guys, especially in the barbering world, especially when you're a barber, because you're keeping this person fresh. This person's talking to you about their deepest, darkest secrets sometimes, or what's going on in their life. And you're practically their therapist. I truly believe in that. I truly believe barbers are therapists, regardless if we get paid for it, regardless if people want to believe it or not, we are therapists. Barbers are the first doctors, regardless if people want to believe it or not. It's in our history. We pulled teeth. We did bloodletting. And if you guys are in barber college, you guys are learning this right now, right? But there's nothing wrong with getting into different things, especially when it benefits you in a lot of different ways. And I'm not just saying as far as financial. Don't get me wrong. I'm gonna make money regardless, right? I'm gonna make money regardless if I'm just barbering or if I'm doing this other stuff that I'm doing, right? But it also is building, you know, my portfolio. Is building my self image within myself, right? Not with everybody else, because I truly believe with the stuff that I'm doing right now, it's helping me become the man that I'm supposed to be and the man that I want to be, right? So I would never tell you, oh, just cut hair, just be a barber, or no, go ahead, get the 9 to 5 and put barbering on the back burner. I'm never gonna say that. I'm gonna say this: I need you to incorporate barbering into every other thing that you want to do. Because look, if you're trying to make a lot of money, there's a lot of money out there to be made, right? And especially if you're getting yourself into different industries. I've gained clients off being a DJ. I've cut their hair. I DJ an event. I pass my card out. All my cards say barber first. They say licensed barber. Then they say mobile DJ. So now I've gained clients through that, through my firearms training company. I've gained clients through that. I helped them learn how to shoot a gun and helped them get their carry and conceal license, and now they want to come get a haircut by me, and vice versa. I find a lot of my clients, they've taken my carry and conceal class. A lot of my clients, I've DJ'd their events, I've DJ'd their friends' events, I've trained their friends on how to shoot a gun. So it all works together in one, right? But it's like it really depends on how you do it and how you run it and how you manage it. That's mainly up to you. Okay, so regardless of if you're just cutting hair, being a barber, treat it as such as a business all the way and take every opportunity that's possible for you. Okay, I grew up loving music, so I thought I was gonna be a performer, a musician or something like that, but I ended up just becoming a DJ. And that's what it is. I grew up, watching movies, and I always thought guns were cool. Did I ever think I'd be a firearms instructor? No, I never thought this was going to be a thing. I never see myself doing this. Even a year or two ago, I would never have seen this. It was just an opportunity that made sense. That made sense as far as I knew it was going to make money, and I knew it would fit into my life. It won't affect me because at the end of the day, y'all, like I told y'all, barbering is number one. So I'm not going to take up any type of business or any job that's going to take me away from barbering. I can't work a regular 9 to 5. I truly can't. It's gonna take me away from my clients too much. The only way I could work an actual job is if it's a 1099 type of job where I'm on call and stuff like that. That's as much as I can do. Okay, and I actually do something like that. I do armed security detail for a company, and I transport stuff. And the stuff I transport is classified. I'm not gonna talk about that, but I transport merchandise, and it's on my call. Whenever I want to do it, I do it. These are the type of things that I need. These are the type of jobs that I would take because it's not going to take me away from barbering, but at the same time, it's giving me a little break. Okay. Like I told you guys before, I might contradict what I said, but barbering is therapeutic, but it definitely can be overwhelming, and you definitely can burn out. Okay. You definitely could burn out from cutting hair. Doing it so much at a high level and a high capacity as I do it, and I have done it, you will get burnt out. So I truly believe that me having these other things that I do, running these other companies that I run, it kind of evens everything out, and it makes me miss barbering to where like I'm not sick of doing it, because any barber will tell you this, maybe not everybody, but a lot of barbers will tell you like, you definitely get burnt out cutting hair so much. Okay, I feel like you get burnt out doing anything. So it's a really good equal balance, I would say, you guys. But again, find something that you like to do besides barbering and try to make money out of it. Turn a hobby into some money, into a business. You know, that's what we did as barbers at first. At least I don't know about you guys, but when I was first cutting hair, I was giving out haircuts for free. I was riding my bike 2-3 miles down from my house to go cut up my homie for free just because I wanted to do it and learn how to do it. If you want to learn how to do something, or if you love something so much, you're willing to do it without a problem, right? So it's one of them situations. But like I was telling you guys, like just find other things you can do to incorporate in your life to build yourself, right? Because now I'm able to be in rooms and meet other people that I would never have been able to do by me just being a barber. You know, me being a firearms instructor, I met a lot of other people, a lot of skillful shooters and people that have been shooting for years and since they were kids, right? I would never have met these people if I wasn't a concealed carry instructor, if I wasn't a firearms instructor, right? Same thing with DJing. I met so many dope DJs and so many dope human beings of me going to DJ a set, and they like how I DJ my set. And I would never have met them if I wasn't a DJ because I'm only a barber, right? So if you guys are sticking with me, you guys are really paying attention. Like again, like doing different things brings different opportunities. So I'm never gonna tell you just to focus on one thing, but I'm gonna tell you this: don't put so much stuff on your back to the point where you can't carry it all, right? Make sure it makes sense. Make sure it's an equal balance. The last thing you want to do is to put yourself in a position where you took out a lot of responsibility and now you're lacking as far as in your barber career. You're not being able to take care of your clients. You're losing clients and stuff, right? Again, though, but let's say barbering is just becoming one of them things where you want it to be more on the back burner. That's cool. I'm not against what anybody wants to do because things work for people in different ways, right? So at the end of the day, if you find something through barbering that you love more than barbering, then pursue it. Okay. And this is a straight barber page, and I'm telling you to pursue it because at the end of the day, it's exclusive barber academy. But at the end of the day, I want to help you just within life, right? And regardless if you're barbering part time or barbering full time or barbering is just one of the things you do every once in a while, if you came to this page, you love to cut hair, you love barbering, right? So I want you to get the best of the best out of barbering, whether it's you switching careers or you building your empire in barbering and getting a barber college or a barber shop, whatever it is, right? But at the end of the day, just know that you can do other things besides just cut hair and still be technically a full-time barber. All right, that's the main thing of this video. Like, I'm able to balance it out. You're gonna be able to balance it out. You just have to know how to do it, and it has to make sense. Okay, you can't say you're a barber but you're barely cutting hair. Let's be real. It's one thing if you cut hair, and it's one thing if you're a barber. A barber is always gonna make sure that barbering is there. It's not one of them things that you're embarrassed to say you are, or because it may not make the most money out of everything. Now that's not what you are. You're something else, you know. But again, that's if only you want to claim to be a barber. All right, man. I take that barber word real seriously because we got a lot of people out here, especially now in 2026, that it's like everybody wants to be a barber now. It's like being a barber is like being a celebrity now, being a rapper now. Everybody wants to be it, you know, because they see we're making good money now. They see, you know, how far you can go in this industry. There's so many different routes you can go. You can become the whole just cut up celebrities or the whole platform artists and stuff like that. I've done all that, bro. I've cut up a couple rappers, nothing crazy celebrities, but I've been on platforms. I've cut hair, showcased on some of the biggest stages. Been there, right? Is that like my main thing that I'm focused on? No, don't get me wrong. I compete in competitions and stuff like that. Is that my main focus? No. My main focus is to be booked out and still running my other business or other businesses efficiently. That's my goal. Okay, I'm a barber, aka businessman, right? Before anything, you know, as you guys hear me say barber, right? Because I'm not claiming DJ first. I'm not claiming firearms trainer first. I'm not claiming any of that first. I'm claiming barber first. Then it goes DJ. Then it goes the rest, right? Because DJing is one of them things I love to do too. It's also therapeutic. I love music, the right blend. I love that type of stuff. You know, firearms training. I like to interact with people on things I like. And I like guns. You know, I do like guns. And I want to make sure everybody's safe while using them. And if I get paid for making sure people are safely using a firearm, then by all means, I want that paper. You dig? Like for real. But again, do not allow anybody to make you feel like you're wrong, or forget anybody. Don't feel wrong for wanting to switch careers or putting, you know, barbering somewhat on the back burner, right? But again, it's really up to you and it's really your choice. I'm an advocate for it. You know, I'm doing it. But again, I'm not claiming anything more than a barber, right? I tell people I'm a barber first, then I let them know the other stuff I do. And some people, I don't even let them know what I do. I let them know I'm a barber because I want to cut their hair. And once they come and sit in my chair, that's when I could break down all the other stuff I do. Because now that's conversation starters, you know, for me and that person. You know, I always reel them in with the barber part because I know I could give out a fresh fade. I know I can give out a crispy lineup. I know that for sure. And that'll be something somebody might need more than a DJ or than a firearms trainer, you know. But don't get me wrong though. There are times where if I have my firearms training company's flyers, I'll give them that. So off rip, they know that. But I always make sure I bring up in that conversation, hey, I'm also a barber. So if you're interested in getting a haircut, let me know. We actually do the classes at my barber shop, you know, and stuff of that nature. So yeah, you guys, like, do what works for you, all right, and do whatever you got to do that's gonna help you take care of you and yours, right? If barbering isn't doing it, if barbering isn't really making you no real money, I get it. Depending on how old you are, because again, all barbers don't start as young as I did. All barbers don't start at 14, 13. You know, I know a lot of barbers do. Don't get me wrong. I feel like as of today, there's a lot more young barbers than there was when I was growing up, right, in the game. But a lot of times, you know, people go to school or they want to pick up the craft at an older age, and you don't have time to just sit around and wait. You have to get some money, right? You got kids or whatever it is, a mortgage, whatever, right? And I totally understand and I respect that, right? So that's why I tell you, do what works for you and don't allow anybody to tell you otherwise. As long as it's making money, as long as you're seeing progression, it makes sense, right? That's all that really matters. Same when we talk about this whole commission and booth rate conversation. You know, what works for one barbershop owner will work for the other barbershop owner. You know, and also the area you're in plays a big part as well when it comes down to that whole commission and booth rate conversation. The only reason why I bring this up because I see a lot of, you know, conversations coming around with that again. I feel like it's always like been a conversation, but right now it's been the topic on, you know, on these barber podcasts and stuff like that, right? But again, what but what I eat won't make you shit, and then vice versa, right? So again, do what works best for you, but make sure you do it officially. And if you wanna, start different things, and you're a busy barber, if you're a busy barber and you wanna, possibly try a different industry out and open up another company, then hey, do it and use barbering to help you. Use that. Use your clients that you have to help you, you know, get your other company busy. Like I told you, I got clients that I've DJed their events, their birthday parties, their family's birthday parties. I've trained a lot of my clients on firearm safety and helped them get their carry and conceal licenses in Illinois. They took my class and we got all that stuff done. So like utilize barbering in every way possible. Definitely utilize barbering the highest to your highest capability, right? Get every opportunity you can from this industry. And it's deeper than just in the industry. Like I was telling y'all, like it's deeper than that. You don't have to be a platform artist or you don't have to open up a barber school or a barber shop. And that's one thing I'm gonna tell y'all too. Anybody in school or anybody that has been in the barber industry, all because you decide not to open up a barber shop or a barber school, whatever, it does not mean that you're not a successful barber. Okay? Understand that. That's not for everybody and it shouldn't be for everybody. Okay? It's not that big of a deal, right? Well, it is a big deal to do it. Don't get me wrong. I'm never gonna, discredit people who own schools and barbershops because it's definitely a hard thing to do. Okay, but again, it's not gonna be the decision whether or not you're successful or not. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you guys that because I'll be sitting here lying to you, right? And I'll be biased because I own a shop. What that means you're the most successful? No, it don't mean that. I'm very successful, very very successful, but I would have been successful even if I didn't have a shop. For some people, it's not for them. A lot of people like to travel and cut hair, or they want to do the mobile barbershop thing, and I get that. That's for them. But besides, being that in the industry, a school owner or on a platform or working with a company and stuff like that, there's other things you can do that barbering brings you. Like I told you, I would never have became a DJ. I would never have became a firearms instructor. So barbering is that thing that put everything together for me. Me taking this craft very serious and wanting to become the best I could possibly be at this craft helped me build so many relationships with people and now look at me, I'm in a better predicament. I'm in industries where I'm making more money, like I would say right now, I believe I make the most money cutting hair, being a barber. I would say that. But again, this is just other revenues of streams that I'm making money off, and it's different things. So it also keeps me on my feet and also keeps me learning and stuff. Because as far as with a haircut, you guys, there's only so much you can learn, right? There's a lot of different things to learn in the barbering business. But as far as cutting and doing a fade and stuff like that, there's only so many steps, so many things you can do, right? At the end of the day. I'm a true advocate that a haircut is just a haircut. That business portion is what's going to make you successful in barbering. Knowing how to take care of a client, knowing how to handle clients, knowing how to be punctual, knowing how to be consistent, that type of stuff. That gets you a lot farther than just knowing how to cut hair good. I promise you this, y'all. I promise you this. I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen some of the most talented barbers come into my shop, but they just don't want to really apply themselves. They don't. They're cocky because they know how to cut, and they feel like just because they know how to cut that everyone's gonna come to them. Until it's too late, until they lose clients, and now they realize that they should have been doing something different. All right. But again, you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys got something out of this video. If you did, leave me a like. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Again, this is the exclusive Barber Academy. Where we're just exclusive, like the name says, man. I give you guys a lot of different type of game besides just learning how to fade and stuff like that. Those videos are coming. I got some videos of fading, real quick fading techniques in my video logs. If you want to go check them out. But again, this is a lot of barber related content. But again, I do sometimes give you guys just some regular life game. Okay, it's deeper than just cutting hair and fading. I let you guys know the business part of barbering. I let you guys know a lot of game and a lot of other things you can do besides barbering. As this video is that can bring you revenue and can help you be able to take care of you and yours. But again, you can take care of you and yours just off with the clippers. Don't get me wrong, but Again, we're exclusive. So I'm giving you exclusive game, and I do different things here. All right. So I appreciate y'all for watching the video. Again, y'all stay blessed, stay fresh. Don't forget to invest, man. All right. FVO. Peace.